So once you have glued down your textures, you should have something that looks like this. Again, it is entirely up to you how you would like to lay it out. I went for something a little bit more organic, and I have 8 of my textures stuck down, a mix of natural and a mix of man-made. Now you're going to be doing this in pen or pencil. I am going to do it in pen. A fine liner pen or a biro will work absolutely fine. I have sketched out my initial kind of design in pencil just to give me a rough shape, and then I am going to get started. So for this one, I am going to do a combination of hatching. I'm going to think about how close and how far away my hatching is, so how much negative space I have there, and also the direction of that hatching as well. So I'm going to start with lots of really close, tightly packed hatching, so the less negative space I have in between my lines or my hatches, the darker something is going to appear. And then what I want to do is I might go in and layer a few more over, just very sporadically, so kind of spacing them out. Again, I can layer my hatching to build that up, so it's that little bit darker. And then I am going to get a little bit more of this texture here. You can see that it's going at more of an angle, and this is where I am going to have them spread out that little bit more. And I'm also doing a kind of flicking motion with this as well. So I've got more negative space. By flicking it, it's going to kind of start off darker and then naturally taper out, which you'll be able to see in the examples on the PowerPoint a little bit clearer. So again, I'm just going from base and flicking that out. I'm going to keep the same direction all the way throughout, and you can just gradually build that up so you can see a little bit of contrast with my mark making techniques. Now for something like this, which is tree bark, I would want to stipple. So again, it's quite sporadic. I do have some negative space in places. Some areas are a little bit darker, so I can gradually build that up. Now you might, if your texture is a little bit simple, or your pattern is a little bit simple, you may want to do the whole thing. If it's really quite complex, or the technique that you're using is quite time consuming, then obviously you can perhaps do a little section of that. So you can see again that I'm just doing pressing motions with my pens or stippling anywhere that is a little bit darker. I can layer on top and gradually build that up. So you can see I've kind of got some lines kind of going up, so that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing straight lines, I'm just trying to make them look obviously a little bit more organic, like that kind of tree bark, and build that up. When it comes to, again, anything man-made, typically that's what I would like to sketch. So I'm going to start by sketching these little kind of chevrons. So I'm going to start by doing one bigger rectangle. I'm then going to have my diagonal lines kind of spaced out like so. Again, I might not do the entire thing, so I'm going to have the rounded edges. And again, you can think of the texture that you would like to build up and the difference in here. So my pencil line is kind of coming this way, so I'm going to again do some hatching, but I'm going to make them a little bit wider here. And then I want to emphasize that dark line around the outside, and for that one I'm going to stipple that one there. So again, between hatching, stippling, and then to differentiate my background, I'm actually going to do lines kind of parallel to perpendicular, sorry. Again, kind of flicking motion with them, and I'm going to cross hatch those so that my background is going to appear darker than those little kind of chevrons in the middle, and you should be able to see a difference in your textures. So take your time, again, a mix of hatching, cross hatching, stippling, other mark making or line techniques, you can be using a pen or pencil. I find a pen gives you a nice contrast between your textures and the drawing itself.